These are the explosive revelations from Katt Williams that predicted one of the biggest entertainment scandals in decades. On January 3, 2024, the comedian sat down with Shannon Sharpe for what became the most viral podcast interview of the year, racking up over 86 million views and setting off a chain reaction that saw powerful industry figures face federal charges, lawsuits, and public disgrace. Williams didn't just throw around accusations that day. He made specific predictions about what he called the Age of Truth, a time when all the dark secrets of Hollywood's elite would finally come to light. Looking back now, his words seem almost prophetic. Within months of that interview, Sean "Diddy" Combs faced federal raids, arrest, and ultimately conviction on serious criminal charges. But Williams' exposé went far deeper than just Diddy. He painted a picture of an entertainment industry built on secrets, manipulation, and abuse of power, with figures like Clive Davis and Will Smith allegedly playing key roles in maintaining this system. Today we're breaking down exactly what Williams revealed, how his predictions came true, and what it all means for the future of Hollywood.
Shocking allegations against Will Smith, a violinist who was a finalist on America's Got Talent and performed in Smith's band, is accusing the star of predatory behavior. Jim Murray has the details.
Will Smith faces serious allegations in an explosive lawsuit just filed. This violinist is accusing Smith of predatory behavior and sexual exploitation. Before filing the lawsuit, he posted this cryptic message.
Unfortunately, some things happened, and I can't get into the details of exactly what that was.
Brian Joseph King made a name for himself when he competed on America's Got Talent and dazzled the audience and judges with his incredible talent, placing as a top 3 finalist in 2018. Judge Heidi Klum was so impressed, she ran on stage and gave him a hug. Last year, Joseph was hired to go on tour with Will Smith and his band. Today, the violinist claims Smith told him, "You and I have such a special connection that I don't have with anyone else." He says after he made allegations of sexual harassment to Will Smith's management team, he was fired.
Getting fired or getting blamed or shamed or threatened or anything like that, simply for reporting sexual misconduct or safety threats at work, is not okay.
Will Smith's attorney is firing back, calling the allegations false, baseless, and reckless. They are categorically denied, and we will use all legal means available to address these claims and to ensure that the truth is brought to light.
The story begins with Williams himself, a comedian who claims to have spent 30 years collecting information, knowledge, and secrets about the entertainment industry. Unlike many performers who climb the ladder by playing the game, Williams says he's consistently turned down massive opportunities to maintain his integrity. He revealed on the show that he's had to turn down $50 million 4 times just to protect what he calls his virgin hole, his refusal to compromise his principles for money or fame. This positioning as an outsider who knows insider secrets gave Williams the credibility to make the bombshell claims that followed. He specifically called out what he termed big dick deviants, who would all be catching hell in 2024. At the time, many dismissed this as typical Williams controversy stirring. Now, but the comedian insisted he had receipts for everything he was saying, which is why he could speak so freely. Williams' most direct target was Sean Combs, better known as Diddy. The comedian made it clear that he'd personally turned down invitations to Diddy's infamous parties, stating emphatically, "P. Diddy be wanting to party, and you got to tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did." This wasn't just Williams being difficult. It was him suggesting that saying yes to those parties meant compromising yourself in ways that could be used against you later. The comedian also made darker implications about Diddy's past, particularly regarding the death of Tupac Shakur. Williams expressed his love for Tupac and suggested that if he ever got the chance to get back at whoever was responsible for the rapper's death, he would take it. While he didn't directly accuse Diddy of ordering Tupac's murder, the implication was clear enough that listeners understood the subtext. But Williams didn't stop with Diddy. He brought up Clive Davis, the legendary music executive who co-founded Bad Boy Records and was instrumental in Diddy's rise to power. Davis gave Diddy $15 million to fund Bad Boy Records initially, followed by varying amounts over the years, including $50 million and $6 million upfront payments. Williams suggested that this financial relationship came with strings attached, and that those strings involved more than just business deals. The connection between Davis and Diddy has been the subject of persistent rumors in the industry. Former Death Row Records CEO Suge Knight, speaking from prison on his podcast, has made explicit claims about the nature of their relationship, suggesting it was romantic as well as professional. While these claims remain unverified, they add context to Williams' implications about how power and influence are really traded in the music industry. Williams also targeted Will Smith, though his accusations here were more complex. The comedian suggested that Smith's infamous Oscar slap of Chris Rock wasn't a spontaneous moment of anger, but rather a carefully orchestrated publicity stunt designed to generate massive ratings and revenue. Speaking on another podcast, Williams broke down the economics. If you're going to slap him, you just need the greatest guy, the bestest guy, the one who's shown us him being on his best behavior since the 90s. That guy is the one that will have to slap him in order for the type of rating we need. So, they killed this $20 million guy, but they reached $60 million in benefits. This theory suggests that Smith's career and reputation were sacrificed to create a viral moment that would benefit the Academy and the broader entertainment industry. Williams, as someone who works in production himself, claims this insider perspective allows him to see these events differently than the general public. The most chilling aspect of Williams' predictions was his description of 2024 as the age of truth. He explained, "It's not that people haven't been wanting the truth, it's that for the first time ever, whoever them motherfuckers are that would be involved in the Illuminati and the shadow government and all of that shit that really exists, that really runs the world, all of them is 80 to 100 right now." Williams believed the old guard that had kept Hollywood's secrets buried for decades was finally aging out of power, creating an opportunity for the truth to emerge. He suggested that these powerful figures could no longer protect their networks of influence and abuse the way they had for generations. The timeline of events following Williams' interview reads like a validation of his predictions. Just 2 months after the Club Shay Shay episode aired, federal agents raided Diddy's properties in Los Angeles, New York, and Miami as part of a sex trafficking investigation. By September 2024, Diddy was arrested and charged with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution. The case against Diddy was built largely on testimony from his former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, whose lawsuit had been filed and settled within 24 hours back in November 2023. Ventura's allegations painted a picture of systematic abuse, manipulation, and trafficking that aligned with Williams' warnings about powerful men in the industry who used their influence to exploit others. The settlement amount in Cassie's lawsuit was eventually revealed to be $20 million, a figure that suggests either the strength of her case or Diddy's desperation to keep the details from becoming public. Her testimony described how Diddy brought her into his ostentatious, fast-paced, and drug-fueled lifestyle when she was just 19 and he was 37, beginning a pattern of abuse that would continue for over a decade. During Diddy's federal trial, which began in May 2025, prosecutors presented evidence of the elaborate network Diddy had built to facilitate his alleged crimes. After more than 13 hours of deliberation, the jury found him not guilty of racketeering conspiracy and sex trafficking, but guilty on 2 counts of transportation for the purposes of prostitution. On October 3, 2025, Judge Aaron Subramanian sentenced Combs to 4 years and 2 months in prison, along with a $500,000 fine and 5 years of supervised release. The sentence was significantly lighter than the 11 years and 3 months prosecutors had requested, but heavier than the 14 months Diddy's lawyers argued for. He's currently incarcerated at the Federal Correctional Institution in Fort Dix, New Jersey, with an expected release date of May 25, 2028. But the legal troubles didn't end with the criminal trial. Rolling Stone reported that Diddy continues to face over 40 civil lawsuits from former employees and associates, suggesting that Williams' prediction of widespread exposure was only the beginning. The reaction to Williams' interview was mixed within the entertainment industry. While many viewers praised him for speaking truth to power, several of the comedians he called out by name pushed back against his claims. Dave Chappelle questioned why Williams only targeted black comedians for allegedly stealing material while ignoring white performers. Kevin Hart dismissed the allegations as coming from someone with unresolved anger issues. Cedric the Entertainer flat out denied Williams' claims about joke theft. However, none of the subsequent arrests and convictions have given Williams' words new weight. Social media has been filled with posts noting how his January 2024 predictions came true throughout the year. The phrase, "Katt Williams said this in January 2024, and now Diddy's house has been raided by feds." 2024 is the heat of the reckoning, became a popular way to acknowledge the comedian's apparent prescience. Williams himself has been remarkably consistent in his messaging. In a follow-up interview about his Club Shay Shay appearance, he admitted that he had intentionally set out to damage the careers of the people he was discussing, but had actually held back his most devastating material. "I set out to kill the careers of the people I was talking about, but it was so vicious that I erased all of the knockout blows and just left the jabs, so that the comic I'm talking about knows, I know your real story, motherfuckers." This suggests that Williams has even more damaging information that he chose not to reveal publicly, at least not yet. Shannon Sharpe has hinted at the possibility of a second Williams interview, noting that there's a possibility that you might hear the haymakers very soon, and that Williams has been writing more material. The broader implications of Williams' expose extend beyond just entertainment industry gossip. His claims about systematic abuse, financial manipulation, and the use of compromising situations to control powerful figures paint a picture of an industry built on exploitation. The fact that many of his specific predictions came true suggests that these weren't just wild conspiracy theories, but informed observations from someone with genuine insider knowledge. What makes Williams' revelations particularly powerful is his insistence that he has documentation to support his claims. Unlike many celebrity whistleblowers who rely on hearsay or secondhand information, Williams claims to have spent 3 decades systematically collecting evidence about industry wrongdoing. His confidence in making specific, named accusations suggests he believes he can back up his words if challenged. The entertainment industry's response to these revelations has been largely one of silence. When Clive Davis made his first public appearance after Diddy's arrest, he stayed quiet about the scandal, despite seeming ready to comment before a handler intervened. This pattern of silence from industry veterans suggests they're either legally advised not to speak or genuinely concerned about what other information might emerge. Looking forward, Williams' predictions about 2024 being the age of truth seem to have been accurate, but the comedian suggests this is just the beginning. With dozens of civil lawsuits still pending against Diddy, and Williams hinting that he has more information to reveal, the full scope of Hollywood's dark secrets may still be coming to light. The transformation of Williams from controversial comedian to apparent industry prophet represents a broader shift in how we understand power and accountability in entertainment. His willingness to speak out against figures who seemed untouchable has helped create space for victims to come forward and for law enforcement to take action against previously protected individuals. As we move into 2025, Williams' Club Shay Shay interview stands as a watershed moment, the point where someone finally said out loud what many in the industry had whispered about for years. Whether his remaining knockout blows will be as devastating as his initial jabs remains to be seen. But one thing is clear: the age of truth that Williams predicted has fundamentally changed how we view the entertainment industry's most powerful figures. The story of Katt Williams' expose is ultimately about more than celebrity scandals or industry gossip. It's about the courage required to speak truth to power, the consequences of staying silent about systematic abuse, and the possibility that even the most entrenched systems of corruption can eventually be brought to light. In Williams' own words, he spent 30 years collecting secrets, and 2024 proved that sometimes those secrets refuse to stay buried forever. Drop your thoughts below, keep it respectful, and if you love a deep dive into celebrity drama, hit that like, tap subscribe, and don't forget to watch the next video, because what comes after this might just change how you see the entire entertainment world.